It's another episode of UnTangled. I'm Jen Frazier, CEO of Firefly Partners. I'm here with the fabulous and amazing Maureen Wallbeoff to join me on UnTangled. So UnTangled is a space that we've created to talk about the trials, tribulations, triumphs, tragedies, all the things behind nonprofits and tech, engagement, outreach, fundraising, all the things, what I like to call the mess behind the mission. And nobody knows about the mess behind the mission better than this lovely lady joining me here today, Maureen. It's good to see you. Good to be
here. Good to see you. We got to do an actual catch up a couple days ago, so we could stick to the topic today. We're going to try. Yeah. And I think that both of us in our nonprofit days both contributed to the mess behind the mission and solved some messes behind the mission.
Absolutely. I mean, it's messy. We all know this. Everybody, we can all raise our hands. We've all been a part of it, whether it's nonprofit, for-profit, whatever. It's messy running a business. And as we all know, nonprofits are businesses, whether we like to admit it or not. But it's messy. There's lots of stuff that's happening. But definitely it's let's solve some of the problems. That's what we're here for. That's what this space is for, to help us talk through, give folks out there ideas, tips, best practices, be like, we all know you're doing hard work. It's crazy. It's crazier than ever, it feels like, but I guess I say that maybe every year, but this one now it's for real. Okay. Feels harder than ever. And the technology is running at like wicked fast pace. You know, you Bostonites out there.
I was just going to say, we've been talking about you coming out for a visit. You just like landed the wicked in minute two. So that's really good.
I'll blend right in. They won't even know.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right in that the tech in many ways drives us, right? We feel like we're working in service of it. And I think you and I have seen this play out in organizations that are really big, that have a lot of people and a lot of money, and maybe even like an IT person who can help, sort of, down to like the little scrappy organizations that are like pulling it together somehow to meet some local mission.
Yeah.
And in all of those cases, like, I really want to take a poll. If anybody's here watching live, who here has had anything that resembles formal training for all of these things that your organization is either getting for free or paying for, or some combination of those things? And we formal training, anthropology, women's studies, I think not. But we were there when tech showed up, and we just kind of thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And so we turned that passion into a career, into careers.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Right. The technology obviously just keeps changing. So, you know, back in the day, you're high tech. If you're like, ooh, I learned how to like mass fax my member of Congress or something, like the technology is always back there and always helping enable the passion and the movement and the work that people are doing. The technology obviously just keeps, you know, getting more difficult or challenging or whatever. And definitely the formal training idea, I love that. So this is like how to manage your tech stack in the nonprofit side, where most folks have zero, you know, formal training, just threw into it. Hey, this is under other duties as assigned. You also are managing this database. You're also managing these complex technical platforms, even though I know you're really just here because you care about pets. You know, you care about cats and dogs. You want them to be safe.
Right.
That's amazing. Glad you're here. Oh, and also here's a
login and thoughts and prayers. Like, you're under 50. Figure it out. You're a digital native, and there's more stuff, right? So nobody ever takes anything away from their tech stack. They're always adding.
Oh, this is done now. Move over here. You're like, no, it's just adds on.
And they are more sophisticated, right? Like email, you can do a million things with merge fields and conditional content and personalization and getting data to see if you can deliver it at the right day and time and all that stuff. And I think what you and I see is people dissatisfied, for usually really good reason, with the stuff that is there when they got hired. Here's the stuff the CRM, the email tool, the fundraising tool, volunteer management, event, whatever.
Name it.
And you have to figure out how either your piece of this fits in to some murky data world where you're collecting information that needs to go 6 other places and you don't know what those 6 other places are.
Yeah.
Or you're suddenly responsible for more pieces of it than you actually use.
Well, let's not even get into the tech stacks that sit, dusty and unused, or the over purchasing of tools that do all the things. And really, the group is still just trying to get by, sending out basic email with very little personalization or segmentation behind the scenes, whatever. And you're like, because guess what? I have an actual job. I'm sorry, I have 17 other jobs, one of which is trying to get emails out the door. So can I go get my master's degree in this tool on the side? Oh, turns out no. I've got a lot of other things to do. Yeah.
And it's hard because tech change is just like any other change. It's expensive, can be. It's annoying because we hate even good change, we resist it. I think sometimes our attitude, this is like my first tip. I actually prepared for this, folks. So I got 4 pro tips for you. And the first one is really like, don't invest your energy in hating it.
No.
Because it's probably not going away. It's going to take a lot of effort usually to get leaders to fund a move. So whatever you're using that you're like, PU, I can't stand this thing. Figure out how to deal with it instead of just raging at the machine.
Yeah.
100%.
That is bad use of your energy. It doesn't solve anything. And you're right. Like, it's really hard to get up off a particular platform, but more often than not, I know you are 100% right here next to me. There hasn't been probably, again, any training. The tool has probably not even been configured well to meet your organization's needs. So you're like, I hate this thing. It's the worst thing ever. And you're like, okay, let's just take a breath.
Yeah.
Go back.
Like unburden thyself, right?
Yeah.
So another tip is make a pain point list. Like, don't filter yourself. What is wrong with this thing? Like, what can't you do, or what's stupid? I got to do 27 steps and it seems dumb that I have to do that many steps. Because often we blame the technology, and it usually has a part to play, but often it is the fact that leaders have no plan, like how we're going to use this thing. We don't have the right people with the right skills and or the right training.
Yeah.
Or our business processes are dumb. And so we're forcing ourselves to go through these hoops when if someone just took a step back, they would say, this is like, you could streamline this just a wee bit. And the way that I always know when I'm working with organizations and I'm doing like an assessment, I never get a login to their stuff because they'll probably forget to take me off that login list. And I don't really want access to their Razor's Edge or their Salesforce. But also I want to talk with them about how they're using it. Do you have to click that button? What happens when you export that report? Then what happens? Because it's the business processes that we inside nonprofit organizations are really great at making super complicated. But when people try to tell me what they do and they get embarrassed, I'm like, this is like, you got us right. You should be a little embarrassed, but you shouldn't feel bad. Like, unpack that process and fix it.
Yeah, especially because you got trained by the last person who didn't know what they were doing either, and were stabbing around in the dark, figuring something out. Maybe they wrote something down, they probably didn't, and then you just jumped in and they went, oh, on my last day, here's the 3 things I do. Now you're going to do it. Good luck. God bless. Like you said, hope, thoughts, and prayers. And you're just like, okay, great. And now you know this 27-step process, which is horrible, to do the thing that you're like, okay, but one of my 75 job responsibilities is to do this thing. And now I know that this horrible way to do it, and I just do it. And then you're like, and you go, I hate this tool. This tool is the worst, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, I mean, maybe. Okay, fine. There's some, let's just be fair. There's some antiquated platforms. They could stand to, be migrated away.
Either go away or get fixed.
But generally speaking, I'm definitely like, let's fix what you got. So let's take a deeper look.
Yeah.
And
And
yes,
so the next tip I have, which you and I have used to both our own and our clients' benefits for a long time, is turn to your vendor. You're paying money every month, every quarter, every year, whatever it is. I don't care whether you're paying a nickel or $1 billion. Your software company has training materials. And while it can be a bit of a hurdle, especially now where you've got to interact with an AI agent before you can actually speak to somebody. Tip number 2, make friends with your software vendor. Make friends with them. Don't go in like, I hate your tool, duking it out. You're taking my money. You stink. Go in and say, I need to know how to use this tool better.
Yeah.
How can I get trained?
Yeah, totally.
How can you support me as a customer? And if you go in trying to make friends with somebody, they're more inclined to help you than if you come to them with like eyes that could burn through steel.
Yeah, and your claws out, and you're like, oh, this seems like a relationship I want to work on.
Another attitude thing, right? Like I got to go in and say, I am new. I was not trained. I have to do this thing. How can I get help to do this thing?
Yeah.
And then don't go away.
It's a process that I hate. I'm pretty sure there's a better way.
Squeaky wheels get the grease. Don't go away. Write down people's names. Like build relationships. Like, hey, I talked to Chuck last week and they said blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, your software vendor is not just taking your money for the privilege of giving you the rights to use the software. They also have customer support. And so if your leadership is looking outside thinking swapping a platform is going to solve a bunch of problems, make a deal. Give me 6 months and invest that money in training for me.
Yeah.
Whether it's with the software company, with an agency like Firefly, with a billion other brilliant experts in this stuff.
Yeah.
Get some paid help, reinvest in yourselves, and you will be far better off than if you spent that money in a move. What do you think? Do you agree?
Oh, like, where do I sign? Yes, because as we all know, when you said at the beginning of the call, it's super expensive. It takes a long time. I would say the biggest upside to moving to a new platform, if it's done right, is actually doing what you're talking about. It's uncovering all the pain points and actually trying to create better processes. But most of the time, as we all know, it's a scramble. People just pack up their old crap and their old house and they just move it into the new house. And then they're like, why isn't everything better? It's a new platform and it's a new day. Everything should be amazing. Right. And we all know that's a recipe for disaster. But yes, like it's not typically, like we said, again, the platform itself, it's the way it was set up. It's the lack of training, documentation, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. And the user roles within the platform, because usually these platforms are big, complex things. You say, great, I need to know how to do these, or this department needs to do these kinds of things. Great. Train them on that sort of workflow. And that's it. And they don't need to get in and muck around and start creating random fields that don't mean anything to anybody else, or all those kinds of things that we all know happen. I've seen it all. Then you need to get really clear about who's in there, what do they need to be doing, how can we get them the training to do the things they need to be doing, and kind of just be don't really look to the left or the right that much. You all just need to do your thing. And hopefully we take that 27-point list that you hate and we pull it down and make it a lot more streamlined, a lot easier for you to use. And then you're putting stuff in correctly. People are going to get data out in the right ways. But it's not, most of these platforms, most of the major platforms, as we all know, do a lot of the same things. They do it a little bit differently. They have a little bit of different whatever. They have different interface, but their goals are all pretty much the same. And they do hopefully, want to help you get your best use out of it. They don't want to just take your money and be like, sorry, can't help you. Right? They do want you to stay. That's their whole point. They want you to be successful and happy using the tools so you don't keep banging your fist against the wall and then be like, I got to get out of here. They want you to be successful. So let them help you be successful.
You didn't look at my little tips here that I prepared, but you segued right into the next one, which is figure out who owns different things inside your organization. Like if you're in the advocacy team and there's fundraising over here and they want your names or you want their names, usually there's some bartering of, making different asks of your supporters. Like sit down and just make some agreements, even if they're not formal, like you're the email person, you're the CRM person. And what does that mean inside our organization? Because it's not possible. I don't care if you're like a 3-person operation, it's really not possible, nor is it a good idea for one person to own all that stuff. It is risky because when that person leaves, guess what? The whole expertise is gone right there. But it also helps you collaboratively make decisions about things that other person might not think it affects you, but it absolutely affects you. So if you're going to start a text campaign, end of years are coming, right? So we're going to collect a lot of mobile numbers, and you don't tell the people who own the forms that are most used, like we need a field and we need a disclaimer for, opting out and all that stuff. You're not going to get enough names to be able to really run a good text aspect of your end of year fundraising. Do you see that a lot, Jen? Do you see the silos of work?
If I had $1, for every time we talked about silos inside organizations and but you just hit on the perfect words though, which are my names. And this is something I want to start almost every, engagement with any organization talking about the various teams that have their lists and their, rules of the road, and also like their platforms, God forbid, it's bad enough if you're sort of proprietary about your sort of quote, your list, and you're all in the same platform. Like that's actually a problem we can solve without too much whatever, but it's even worse when it's like 6 different platforms and all this stuff. And then, everyone's got their own rules of the road, their own, like, whatever. And they're like, you can't talk to my donors. You're like, I don't know. Spoiler alert. I already am. Actually, they're on my list too. Who knew? Oh, wait, if we actually heard, we'd know these things, but it's just this inability. And I get why this happens. Obviously you get hired, you're doing a great job. You're given, sort of directives within your department, and you've got goals, you've got things, and you are working on your initiatives, and you're like, I got to move this stuff forward. You don't have time, or the leadership doesn't create the space for the cross-departmental conversation.
It's essential. You got to think about your tech stack like the whole thing. My piece is important, and I'm going to learn how to use it, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get support, but it's a piece of the whole Frankenstein monster. And so you really do need to have awareness and built-in space for collab proactively. It'll just, and then you've got somebody else who's in the same frustrating seat, right? Like my fundraising buddy who also hates their system. Maybe like I can run some idea, like, can they look at what's getting me stuck and see if they can, like, it's better together, like faster together, better.
100%. I don't even remember which conference I was at because, there's a bunch of them out there, but I do remember it was the folks actually at Planned Parenthood, where we both used to work. And they had talked about, they kind of were asking leadership for those kind of spaces. And they finally just said, we're doing this. And they created their own little cross-departmental working group on their own, out of their own. Like, I think they even started even on their lunch hours or something. Cause they're like, I need to talk to my colleagues that are doing this over there, because I understand that what I'm doing is impacting them over there, and what they're doing is impacting me. And we should be talking, sharing notes. And they started with simple stuff like, let's do shared definitions.
Yeah.
I say X, what do you think? What does that mean? Are we even speaking the same language? Very simple pieces like that make huge strides forward in that ability to collaborate. And because, again, spoiler alert, your constituents look at you as a unified organization. They want to receive communications and engagements from you that speak as an organization. I know that's kind of a nirvana. What? it can happen, but it doesn't happen if inside the organization you stay in the little siloed lanes and speak with very different voices on like conflicting messages are coming at people. And it's like very hard for your constituent and gets in your own way of being more effective at what you're trying to do in every one of those lanes. Like, so.
And I'll layer on to that. Like the organic stuff is great. When I work with organizations, it's one of the first things I say is like, let's get a tech working group together so you guys can talk to each other and be a unified front and kind of help each other. But as you and I both have experienced, and we've seen a million times, it is a great career builder, man. If you're inclined and you like this kind of stuff and you want to organize it and make it hum along and be of service, as long as you're getting your like other job done until the moment that they make space for you, it is a great, no one wants to deal. No one wants that job. So if you want that job and you're solving problems and suddenly people invite you to really good meetings, you know, like it is a great career builder, especially for people who identify as female. I think it was a
step
great
into that space. It's a leadership move there.
You're grateful you're there. Someone who cares about this stuff is going to figure it out for us. Come on.
I mean, that's people are waiting kind of a little bit too for that. I wish someone would just tell me what I need to do here. And
Step it up.
Okay.
Step it up.
Like get in there.
And sadly, like Jen and I are both cut from the apologize later cloth. So depending on your organizational culture, take our advice with a grain of salt. And then the last thing as we get ready to wrap it up is, I'm telling you, my Chat GPT, my Gemini, my whatever you're using, type in your problem. I'm using MailChimp and I need instructions to do X. And darn it, 30 seconds and $20 a month later, I am literally getting step-by-step instructions that I am passing over to my clients. Because ChatGPT can research all the publicly available information and say, oh, you're using A and platform potato and platform banana, and you want to talk to each other? Here's your 5 choices. And this is the expensive one. And this is the cheap. I'm telling you, like use that set of tools that back in the day, 20-something years ago, we barely had Google.
It's true. It's true.
So use the tools you got.
Use them all day. That's a great tip. I know people always, want to talk. We've spent a lot of time talking about AI. That's a perfect example of ways to use it. And it's a generative AI, which is your first step into this space, which I think, again, is perfect for folks. It's definitely like there's Google and there's search engines, but now AI is taken, obviously, as we all know, in a whole new realm. But exactly that, like I need to know stuff that's sort of publicly available. It's going to take me a really long time to sift through all the stuff myself. Definitely a great use case for it.
It'll make a checklist or it'll make
it'll do so much for you in those kinds of spaces. Make me a checklist, make me whatever, point me to the right training videos, like all that kind of stuff. It can be like, oh, here's a sample. I mean, that's a whole, we could go down that rabbit hole for many hours, but I'd love that as a tip. It ties back to, exactly. You are right now. We all know you guys out there, nonprofit land, you are doing it. You're scrapping it. You're making it work. You're, like our motto, fake it till you make it. You're making it all day. We appreciate you. We know you've got 20,000 jobs. One of them is just tech stuff gets thrown on top. Use all the tools that are available to you. Maureen, you just dumped a ton of great tips. There's always more. So other questions, always happy to sort of chat. You can put them here. Obviously, you can put them back on. I'll be posting this video later and you can post them back in LinkedIn. We like to have a LinkedIn conversation because then everyone can see questions and answers that people.
If you're stuck, add a comment. And I guarantee you that when I'm back from vacation and Jen is back from a festival, we will answer your question. We'll definitely
look. Or the crowdsource is the beauty of LinkedIn, which I love, is you have a question, you have an idea, whatever, you drop it in there. I might not know. I know it feels weird to say, I don't know everything. Just kidding. But that's why I love this kind of social platform though, too, is that these are the smartest folks right here. Everybody out here, they're going to see it. They're going to jump in. They're going to have great answers for you. So these are just a few of good ideas from the wonderful and fabulous Maureen Wallbeoff. Thank you so much for joining me today on Untangled. Again, I'll post this full video later. So if you missed it live, we'll drop some snippets and you can see it later and you can rewatch it live. So we're here every Thursday, except for next Thursday, which I will be out of the country. So I didn't want to risk, coming off the beach for my yay, I got a vacation in August. I'm very excited. Woo! So I'm going to skip a week, but I'll be back in 2 weeks with another fabulous guest. It builds perfectly on this. Sade Dozen from Borealis Philanthropy. Love her. She's amazing. She's been on a panel with us before. Tons of great knowledge. If you're not following her on social too, everything she has to say is amazing. We're going to talk about why your CRM can't fix a broken relationship. Dun, dun. And again, it's back to tech can do a lot, but it cannot be a replacement for the people doing this hard work behind the mission. We appreciate you, everything you do every single day. Please keep it up. We know times are a little bonkers right now, but we're here. We're stronger than any nonsense they're going to throw at us. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Maureen's going to keep doing what she's doing. We're going to keep killing it and crushing it every day. So thank you guys so much. Maureen, thank you so much for being here. Mm-hmm. And I'll see you in 2 weeks on another episode of Untangled at Thursdays at noon Eastern.